Good morning, I'm MrTieDye. Welcome to my channel. So I've had a lot of people ask me how I do my washouts. So I decided to go ahead and do a video on that. So after my things have batched for 48 hours, then I pull them out of my tubs here and just toss them right into the sink. I'll usually toss a few of them in, kind of space them out just a little bit. And then the first thing I do is run cold water over them. And the reason I run cold water over them is I want to rinse away some of the soda ash, plus rinse away some of the loose dyes that maybe still are kind of hanging in there. Hot water helps set the dyes. It also helps remove the excess dyes. So I don't want to use hot water until the soda ash is gone, or the soda ash might activate that dye and do some back staining. So we're going to do a cold water rinse to start with. So I got my water on cold, and I'm just going to rinse over them. Usually I'll just kind of spray over the whole thing for a bit. And I know some people, they'll do a rinse in a bucket of cold water or a big tub of water. That's good too. Mainly what I'm trying to do right now is just get away some of the loose dye particles. I can still see some color coming out down here, and I want to rinse away the soda ash. So I do all of that with everything still tied up. That way if there's any loose dye, it's just flowing straight through, or it's at least staying in the pattern that I have folded it in. So I do about a minute or two. Since I have 4 of them, I'm just kind of rotating around between the t-shirts here. But once I have that pretty well done, then I'll start stacking them. And since these two both have purple on the front, red on the back, I can kind of stack those two together. I'm going to put that on the bottom. This one here, not too bad. We'll stack that in there. And then I'm going to put this one up on top. So once I've kind of rinsed the soda ash away, then I feel more comfortable with stacking them up on top of each other, and that way the water can kind of run through everything all at the same time. And then I'll usually turn my water up to warm, because the warm water is going to help remove some more of the excess dyes. And at that point, then I'll start squeezing this here just to try to get some more of the dye out. Careful when you squeeze, you might create water little spouts that shoot away from you. And I just keep squeezing until the water starts to kind of run a little bit clear here. Once that happens, then I'll go ahead and start cutting my ties on this, and then I'll do some more rinsing. Alright. And bonus, we're going to do a reveal. This is that dress that I tied up with the hearts and peace signs. So we're going to do a reveal on that as we do our washout here. Now what I'm doing is just kind of blocking the sink a little bit there with the shirts. And that way, as the water runs on it, it can kind of just fill up the sink here and let the dyes just soak a little bit there as I work on this first one here. So and sometimes if I got my strings tied too tightly, then I'll go ahead and use a seam ripper, and that helps me then get under there. And the comment that I'd had from a viewer on my YouTube channel said that rather than poking with the pokey part, which seems like that would make sense, if you go in with the red ball, then you have less chance of stabbing your design and poking a hole in it. And I found that that does work pretty well here. Just getting underneath that string, and then you can cut it pretty easily with the seam ripper. Okay, that sink is pretty well full now, so I'll turn the water off, and that way I can let these kind of soak in there a little bit, and that's nice warm water. So that'll help remove some of the excess dyes as I get this untied here. Now I normally will go a little bit longer with my rinsing until the water's just about clear, but I had sprained my wrist recently and I'm trying to baby that a little bit, so we're just going to let the washing machine do the rest of the work here. So we'll get this opened up so you guys can see the magical dress. Alright, so we got the big heart with the little heart inside, that's down on the skirt. We have the peace sign up on the chest, and then down here at the bottom we have rainbow hearts all around the skirt. So there's all the rainbow hearts all the way around. So I'm going to toss this in the washer. So what I usually do is I have one of these tubs, toss it in there, and then I can carry it back to the washer. So come on along. Okay, so I've already, before I started doing my rinsing, I had already filled the washer with hot water and added Synthropol down in there. So that's what we have right now, is just some Synthropol hot water down in there. So what I'm going to do is add this in, and usually I'll turn the washer on for just a bit. And that gets to that pulled down underneath the water, and we will go out and start rinsing the next one. Okay, so now we're going to continue our washout process. So the rest of these have been soaking in the water, so a lot of their dye has come out, but I still kind of give them a good squeeze. That helps release some of the dye out of there. You can pick them up one at a time and squeeze them. But usually I try to make sure that I have a stack of them. If I have more teas than this, I'll go ahead and start filling up the other sink and just doing a pre-rinse on them before they go into this stack here. So let's see what we got here for this one. On this one I was just kind of playing around, just randomly tied it up and throw some dye on, so this will be a surprise for me too. So there's my tank top with just some random colors on there. And anytime if I get stains on my countertop that don't come out while I'm doing my wipe up and stuff, then I use a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Get it a little bit wet and it'll scrub dye stains off of countertops and sinks and your tub. So always have a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser on hand. Alright, that's going back to the washer. Okay, time for another reveal here. So There's my spider. I did that in purple, orange, and then I put a little bit of red over top of the orange. And there's the back side. So we're going to set that one in the sink and go ahead and get this other one done up too. So I'll just run some water on it, get it good and wet, and then we'll just go for the next one. And then all of these, I'm going to put them through 3 hot washes. The first one is more of a quick cycle, and then the next 2 are the long soak cycles. And I'll check the water at the end of the last cycle to see how much color is in it. If it is looking fairly clear, then I'll pour it right into the rinse cycle. But if it still has a bunch of color in it, then I will run through one more hot wash. And I'll show you that when we get to it. So I just did 2 spiders. One of them I twisted it going down the shirt, this one here, and the other one I twisted it going up the shirt. So you can see the difference in the patterning here, that this one here is upside down compared to this one. And that just comes from which way you twist the t-shirt. So that's a fun thing to do to alter it. So both of those came out really good here. So we're going to get those rinsed up, and I'll continue with this when we get to the last wash. Okay, here we are at the end of the cycle here. I checked it at the end of the 3rd wash, and there was still just a little bit of color left in the water. So I went ahead and ran it through one more short hot wash, and now I can see that that water is clear even when I dump it up here on a white surface. All of the color is gone out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and forward this to a rinse cycle and then into the dryer. And then I'll have this video up for you. Thank you for watching. Please like and share my videos wherever they're allowed. Have a good day.